I really don't think the Mets are going to fizzle. I think if we're trying to look on the bright side of the Atlanta mess, they got out of Atlanta, which I think can only help psychologically.
Woo! Here we go. Our friend Tim Healey from Newsday joining us right now. First off, dude, did you make it? Are you in Milwaukee?
I made it. I landed in Milwaukee
Nice.
about 1 a.m. local last night, escaped Georgia before the storm. So far, so good logistically. We'll see what happens the next couple days.
I'm excited. I mean, we don't have to go through all of this, so we just get to watch another car wreck, which we've seen plenty of in the last few weeks. So I'll start here, and then these guys will chime in. If I
Sure.
gave you the commissioner's hat or the league decision hat, whatever, right? You get to do whatever you want
Yeah.
on Saturday or Sunday. This past Saturday or Sunday said, hey, there's a threat. We don't know, but there's a threat. How would you have drawn this up to make it more friendly for everyone, the game, fans, and the players involved?
It's tough because Saturday and Sunday, Wednesday looked pretty much fine. So you figure you could play Tuesday for sure. You should be able to play Wednesday. Thursday, you don't know because that's when the storm's supposed to start to arrive. It got worse over the course of late Monday into Tuesday, and then all of a sudden Wednesday was shot and things like that. If anything, the league should have been more decisive earlier here, maybe preparing contingency plans such as a neutral site in, let's say, Texas this week. Hey, if this gets worse, let's go to Texas for a game or two on Thursday. I don't know logistically all of the issues that go into preparing that, how feasible that is on such short notice, but it would have been better than what they ended up with.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, this at the end of the day. That's
True.
that's all part of the baseball talk. I've been a part of that before. There was a hurricane that came. I was with the Yankees. We're supposed to play Tampa, and then they moved the game to New York,
Yeah.
which created the thumbs down guy, which is kind of incredible to me. But, good things always come out of it. I don't know. I'm like on the fence here. I'm a little worried about the Mets, dude. There's a couple games left. They've got Frankie Matos coming on the mound. They're facing a really good squad, and I've been a part of it. We made the comeback in I forget 18 or 19, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we're half game out, and we had less than a month to go, and we just fizzled. Like, do you think they're going to fizzle here with these last 4 games?
I really don't think the Mets are going to fizzle. I think if we're trying to look on the bright side of the Atlanta mess, they got out of Atlanta, which I think can only help psychologically and also literally on the field, not having to face Chris Sale, not having to face Max Fried. And then this weekend, yes, the Braves are good, and the Braves wiped the floor with the Mets in the first series of the season. That's a very different Mets team. The Brewers this weekend are not really playing for anything. They're just playing to not get hurt, really, ahead of their wild card series beginning Tuesday. So the Mets have a big opening here. They currently hold on the tiebreaker the second wild card spot. So can the Mets fall out of it? Yeah, sure, that's possible. But they are very much in a position of power going into their weekend series with the Brewers. I like their chances. I really do.
Tim, I know we're talking about this and that and everything else, but let me ask you this question. Why couldn't MLB have moved this? I know it comes down to money, and I saw Snickers quotes, and neither team wanted to move it. But in special circumstances, you can pick up a team and say, listen, you're going to have to go play in Texas, guys. We're sorry. Because this is the worst-case scenario, right?
Yep.
Let's say 3 teams are tied after this weekend, right? Braves, Mets, Diamondbacks. So there's 3 teams that are sitting there. They don't know who they're playing. Plus, the 4th team, either the Brewers or the Padres, are sitting there going, man, we don't know who we're playing, right? So the Mets could go from Atlanta to Milwaukee, back to Atlanta to San Diego, possibly, right,
Yes.
to play. Or the Mets could play in Milwaukee and just go to Atlanta, back to Milwaukee, and play them again. So there's it's crazy that there was not a better thought out. And I know I think the Thursday game was already a makeup game from earlier in the year, but there had to have been a better solution. Fly to Texas, MLB. I know they're going to have to eat the money. There won't be fans. The Braves won't get their gate. Fly down there and get these games going, because also it's going to wreck their pitching for whoever does get in. If the Braves and Mets have to play these 3 games at the end where they're going to be, playing them like playoff games, then you got to play 19 or 18 innings, 2 9-inning games, and then to get in. And let's say the first game, whoever wins, you got to play that second game, and one team has to win or the other one. And then, oh, by the way, you don't get an off day and you pick it up and go. I mean, this is a disaster. I'm sorry. There had to have been a forethought or anything. Like they did it. They did this for the Cubs when Zambrano did the no-hitter, remember? Against Houston. They moved the game to Milwaukee. I know. But, I mean, there's got to have been somewhere where they could have moved these games to just get them in and gate aside.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I agree with a lot of the points you just made. And ultimately, MLB could have forced the team's hands. The Braves didn't want to give up their gate. Okay, fine. I get why the Braves would feel that way. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes MLB just needs to say, too bad. There are more important things. We need to figure this out. Let's go to Texas. Let's go to Houston. Let's go to wherever, But you also mentioned that the game today, Thursday, was a makeup from April, and that is where the original screw-up was. That game got rained out, and they scheduled it for this week, and the teams had a 2-game series, Tuesday, Wednesday. They had mutual off days Monday before the series and Thursday on the back half of the series. What they should have done was put it Monday. That would give them every chance to play 3 games this week, just in case. Say you schedule it for Monday and Monday ends up rainy, and oh well, you have the rest of the week to figure it out. They didn't. They put it on Thursday, a hurricane comes, and now that everybody's screwed pretty much. So a lot went wrong here starting in April.
Okay, so then the next question is, once they saw this was coming, okay, I get it, right? That, the hurricane changed and the forecast changed. Listen, I live in Florida. We deal with hurricanes all the time. Yeah. Why couldn't they play a doubleheader on Tuesday? Well, that was a clear day. They knew Thursday was good. By Monday, they knew Thursday was washed. Okay, they knew at least Thursday was washed. Why couldn't they have at least played a doubleheader? So then you only maybe have to make up one game. You couldn't have done that?
By Monday, did they know Thursday was totally washed?
Dude, I'm in Orlando. Scott and I are in Orlando. Trust me, yes. I know hurricane better than me. Yeah, wait, by Monday they knew.
Bring me in for a sec. I just want to add to this before you answer too. There has to be a percentage tolerance of this could be a problem. Let's be safer than more sorry. So that's where I'm like, all right, now we're playing 2 games on Monday. You couldn't figure one out with 48 hours to spare. Yes, we knew what was going on. And even if they were like, oh, there's a 20% chance that this isn't a big deal. Okay, sorry. So you played a doubleheader Tuesday. I think it just comes down to money. They didn't want to have to. You were going to lose money if you played 2 games Tuesday. Okay. That's it. That's the answer, period, in my mind. What do you think?
I think that's a big piece of it because the Braves were pushing strongly against moving up the game times in any way, largely because of money. But also on Monday, if MLB came to the teams and said, actually, you're playing twice literally tomorrow, then, can you take your Wednesday starting pitcher and say, just kidding, you're actually getting moved up a day? That's something that teams really don't do a lot of these days. And the Mets especially, ultra careful all season, extra days of rest, the whole thing. That's something that I think they would have been a little uncomfortable doing, to be honest.
Okay, so let's push this forward.
I mean, it's just amazing to me that, we always say they're proactive or reactive instead of proactive, but the Mets wouldn't have pitching. The Braves wouldn't have pitching either. I mean, it's part of it. You just figure it out. I don't know. I don't know.
Ken Rosenthal said on Fair Territory right before us, hey, if you don't like it, play better. You wouldn't have had to deal with this.
Oh, gosh.
Yes and no. Yes and no. For me, I get part of that, right? Because, if the Mets were 3 games up in a wild card, then it would have actually been even more awkward, Tim, because they might have had to play the games to decide if the Braves get in or the Diamondbacks. Meanwhile, the Mets don't give a crap. So how do you tell one team that still could happen, right?
That could still happen. Absolutely. There's a scenario where the Mets clinch a playoff spot this weekend in Milwaukee and then still have to go to Atlanta for 1 or 2 games on Monday because it matters to the Braves and Diamondbacks. And in which case the Mets are playing, all their backups, not throwing anybody who's going to be important on Tuesday. There are a lot of scenarios that can still play out, and most of them are awkward.
Yeah, very much so. Let me ask you about this. There's some big time scenarios. It's kind of a debacle, but this is what I love about baseball, the craziness that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a player in particular, Francisco Lindor. Excuse me. How's he feeling? It looked like he was ready to rock a little bit. Is he's back to where he needs to be, or at least, good enough to start getting some reps here soon?
Yeah, I think good enough is the key phrase there because nobody really expects Francisco Lindor to be fully himself, fully healthy for however much longer the Mets season lasts. He was in the lineup to play Wednesday. They were never going to play Wednesday. So I don't know how much that means really. But a small side benefit of this mess is he does get 2 more days off, Wednesday off, Thursday off. And I expect to see him in there Friday against the Brewers. So the Mets, incredibly, in their week plus without Lindor, their best player, they've played great. Their shortstop, Luis Angel Acuna, has been somehow spectacular after not being very good in AAA. So they haven't really felt Lindor's absence on the field that much. They've been fortunate in the short term, but naturally they want to get it back.
Listen, everybody, we got a major problem here. Half of our viewers are not subscribed. Let's go. All you got to do is click a button, check it out, hit that button. The problem will be gone. Let's go.
We're looking for real ways to boost our nutrition and just found a protein shake that actually tastes amazing. It's called Orgain, and it's been a game changer.
Orgain is the leader in real protein-powered nutrition that understands that being good for you doesn't have to taste bad. It's the organic ingredients we're looking for, but I don't want a grainy battle with my taste buds every day. You know what I'm saying? It's giving smooth milkshake vibes. That's Orgain, and they have a brand new 30-gram complete protein shake that offers protein-packed real nutrition designed to satisfy your cravings without all the sugar.
It gives me energy, provides muscle support, and helps manage hunger too. It's also made without soy ingredients and made with no artificial flavors or sweeteners.
Orgain 30-gram protein shakes are available at Costco and Orgain.com. If you want to get in on the delicious protein-packed nutrition today, head to Orgain.com/foul and use the code FOUL for 20% off your order. Once again, that's Orgain.com/foul for 20% off. And make sure you use promo code FOUL so they know FT sent you. Let me ask you this. Does this help the Mets pitching at all by giving some of these guys extra days? I mean, they haven't announced who's pitching the whole weekend, have they? Because on MLB, they haven't announced it yet. So do we have any idea what the order is going to be?
Well, it doesn't, 5 games in 4 days doesn't help the pitching, but there are some benefits in that, Sean Manaea was supposed to pitch today. He'll pitch tomorrow instead, in all likelihood, because that would allow him to come back ASAP in the wild card round. After that, they could go any number of ways. They would need somebody to start the second game on Monday, or that would be Severino. There's still a lot of ways they can go, but it does help reset the bullpen because most of their top guys will be going into the weekend with really 4 days off. Edwin Diaz got 10 outs total on Saturday and Sunday. So that's asking a lot of a guy, and you got to figure, totally fresh going into the Brewers series. So from a rest perspective, sure, it helps, but it's going to come back around because it's crunch time and they have to get all these games in.
Okay, that's what I meant. I meant as some of their starters, they can give them extra days, but this would push Manaea into the second wild card game now instead of potentially the first. And is there concern about Severino though too, because he hasn't been great his last few starts? So this extra rest helping him. Quintana hasn't pitched in a while, right? It's just backing guys up. So that's what I meant by will this help them in the long run?
Yeah, it could. It definitely could, because this time of year, you really are not afforded these extra days of rest like the Mets will be getting. Severino, say he pitches Monday, that's an extra day of rest because he pitched Tuesday. It'll be his 6th day. Jose Quintana, I don't know when he's going to pitch again, but he hasn't pitched in a while already. He's going to be on, 8 or 9 days, I think, by the time he gets back on the mound. And he's in the middle of a 22 2/3 scoreless inning streak, which is wild, and part of the reason the Mets are in this position to begin with, holding one of the playoff spots. So, Yeah, the extra rest for the starters should help as far as the rest of the regular season goes. Absolutely.
If anyone watching or listening to this right now is confused,
Everybody's confused.
just read Tim's articles, okay? Sometimes you need to slow things down. I do, okay? I read kind of slow sometimes. So read those in Newsday, okay? And follow Tim at Tim B. Healey. Healey is Healey. Good catch up, man. Glad you made it safely over to Milwaukee. They have a retractable roof, so you will see 3 games, barring, I don't know, the power turning off or something. So enjoy that, man.
I absolutely will. Thank you guys very much. Looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Agreed. I love watching a good mess. Thanks, Tim.
Yes.
All right. For our FT fam, we have, of course, a Brave show. It's called Hammer Territory. It's great. We saw the crossover episode that they did after Game 1, which ended up being the only game this week between the Mets and the Braves. So if you want more, go check that out. And on the Mets side, we've got Metsed Up. Brand new. About a month into their voyage under the FT network. Of course, they've been around for a minute. So make sure you check those 2 out wherever you get your pods as well.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.